What is up, you guys? Let me know if you guys can hear me if you're there. Let's go here. And let me refresh that. I just want to make sure this thing is actually high. Consent. Someone write something. Who's out there? Who's out there? Oh no, there's a commercial. Can you guys hear me okay or no? What's up, Greg? What's up, Park? What's going on, guys? Hey, can you guys hear me okay? Because I don't know, let me know if you can hear me tapping. Oh, thanks, PJ. Okay, good. Thanks, Rich. So I literally am using my iPad Pro because it's weird. So my camera up front, it'll pop up as far as what anyone writes, but then I can't write without like leaning in and getting everything up. So, yo, what do you guys think? All right. And you guys are already here. So let me know. Okay, even before I ask what do you guys think about the iconic, I now realize, maybe it was just my dumb angle slash twist of thinking of it. I thought at $8.99, if the iconic were completely great. What's up, Timmy? What's up, Marcel? From Germany. Hey, if the iconic were at $8.99 great for heavy tones, heavy chugs, then it would be perfect, right? Because, here I am with some synergy gear, which is about, let's just call it in the $1,000 ballpark. Then it would be great because now you have an amp that you can use that isn't going to cost you $3,000. But, and of course, this is maybe me being silly or just not thinking it through, but the iconic is clearly designed to capture Eddie's earlier tones. And keep in mind that Eddie used to use a, Jose modded Marshalls along with Soldano heads. So, but to even take things a step further, I feel like that amp captured what Eddie Van Halen was creating in his albums, right? Because you and I can record something. It doesn't mean that the album, once it goes through post-production, is going to sound and have that tone that we first heard. Now as a guitarist, you're going to be able to tweak that. So what's up, Val? You're going to be able to tweak that tone to what you want it to eventually sound like. So I feel like the iconic captures that 80s Van Halen tone perfectly. Now, I ended up telling someone earlier, maybe within the last hour, where I said, it was Neil Morris out in the UK. And I told him, I kind of feel neglected, right? So, but bear with me. Although I felt neglected, that here's this $899 amp that isn't that great when it comes to heavy chugging. Not that you can't get it to chug, but it's just not that great. It's okay. I watched Fluff's videos. I watched a few other videos also, and it's maybe it'll need a boost. You guys remember me bashing on the Mesa Badlander where everyone was just like, oh, this is the next best thing to sliced bread, and it kind of wasn't. It was for certain styles, like 80s metal, and different genres of metal. Barry, yours is coming in? Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, listen, what's going to end up happening, and this is what I told Neil, at some point, I'm going to end up buying 2 iconics, and I'm going to have those, and I'm going to be like, dude, this is the best amp on the planet, but you have to have this pedal and that pedal to make it sound good. That being said, I'm used to my 5150, 6505s, just like you guys are. The next EVH is the 1992, which is the new version of the old 5150 from 1992, which we all know is heavy as fuck. So, you know, but what's that price? What's that going to be priced? You know, it's not going to be $8.99. You know, it's also not going to end up being $11.99. It's going to be north, for me, I think it'll be north of the price range of where the EVH 50 watt stealth is. It has to be, right? So I'm just disappointed. You know, maybe it's just that more than anything else. It's just that I'm disappointed. You know, my ear isn't good, so it's probably sound great to me. Ah, you're so funny, Barry. Yes, dude, the 5150s, all, yo, the, you know, and I have two of the EVH 5150s. I love them. I think Iconic is Wolfie. What? Hold on. Oh, it still has to make it. We'll see you. You think that's his son's tone? Not. Oh, okay, I get that. Doesn't seem like a cash grab or anything. See, I think it is. But keep in mind, Rich, that, and again, you know, these are just all of our opinions, right? None of us have actually grabbed, you know, we haven't played one yet. I think it actually is a cash grab. You know, I think it's a, to some degree, it's, hey, let's try to, you know, they haven't had anything in what, 2 years or so? So they're just like, hey, we're going to come out with this Iconic. That way people can be like, oh, EVH is back to pumping out amps. And at $8.99, you know they're not making $100 a pop. I think they're, you know, they've got to be pocketing at least $300 profit on their end. So at $8.99, that is, you know, what the stores are charging. So let's say each store makes $150. So let's call that 9. We're at $750. No, we're at, so from 9, yeah, we're at $750 is what they sell the amps. So from $750, I think they make at least, let's call it $250. So from $750, you're now at $500 break even for them. And dude, at $250 profit in their back pocket, you know, dude, it's like a gallon of milk. You know, a gallon of milk is like $1, but a supermarket has to sell it for $3.50 because they have to manage the Oreo cookies that aren't being sold. So, you know, there's that kind of price fluctuation that they have to maintain. So at $2.50 a pop in profits, you know, I think what they're doing is, you know, if they at $2.50 and they sell, you know, 10,000, you know, and that's easy. 10,000 global, yo, that's nothing. What's 10,000? What's 10,000 units globally when they can sell it all over the UK, Japan, South America, you know, Canada, the US? 10,000 is an easy number to reach, and 10,000 by 250 in profit margin is pretty good. You know, do we really need what? Hold on, let me read that last one. You know, you're right. Play. Yeah, dude. You know, the 5150 1992 reboot. You know, like you said, I don't think that they need to revamp the old, and the only thing I can think of is EVH as a brand never really made any money on those 5150s, right? I mean, they did with the newer interpretation of the 5150 by way of the Stealth, the EL34s, but they never really ever made any money on the OG PV look of it, which I think is partially what they're trying to, you know, lean towards. So if you ever seen a photo of the EVH 5150 1992, it literally looks like the old PV. And they're just like, hey, you guys that love your PVs, guess what, son? We're going to go ahead and make literally an amp that looks exactly the same, but with the EVH badge on there. I mean, I guess they're entitled to make money on it, and that's cool, you know. They're clearly in a business to make money and not be like, hey, everyone, here are a bunch of amps for $450. I think they did hire James Brown, and I can't stress that although James Brown designed the initial 1992 PV, I think James made it too heavy, right? Because think about it. Think about this for a second, and just for shits and giggles, right? Because let's say we're Eddie Van Halen, and we're like, hey, we're working with PV because they're clearly gonna, pay him out. So they're gonna pay Eddie Van Halen, a percentage of each sale. So you're literally talking about potentially millions of dollars. Like, bro, who's not gonna sign that? So here's James working with Eddie, and James just made it a little too heavy. But, think of the mindset that they would have been on. They wouldn't have been thinking, hey, let's make this thing brutal for hardcore, for death metal, for metalcore. They're not thinking that. They're just like, Eddie, do you like? And he's just like, okay, I'll cut back the gain. I'll dial back the bass. I'll increase the treble, the presence, cut back on the resonance. So there's a way to still get Eddie's tone using, an amp that's 30 years old at this point. But I think the whole heavy aspect of it was just an accident. It's just, hey, if you want something heavier, you have it on tap. And Eddie's like, okay, amp's good for metal kids, but in the 80s, the Iconic is great for 80s metal, without question. Listen, and although I totally sound like the biggest jerk talking about and kind of shitting on the Iconic, without question, 100%, the Iconic sounds great if you're playing Eddie Van Halen style music, any metal from the early 80s, mid 80s. If your goal is to play chords with dirt on there and you want that early brown sound, that Iconic nails it. Even the clean channel with the reverb, I think it just does an incredible job with that. Now, again, like I said, I just feel neglected that, like I feel like they should have had a guitarist that played heavy, but clearly now that I'm here and now that I'm watching all these videos, I don't think the gain stage is there, which is, right? You have two 12AX7 tubes. One is literally for the gain and the other one is the inverter. So, you're really working with just one tube versus, the original PVs that have like 30. I mean, they don't have 30 12AX7s, but you guys know what I mean. But, right in the comments section, because I got it right here, kid. Let me know what you guys think. I wish there was a two-way where you could just talk and I get the AZ fizz tone. The Iconic does it. Yeah, dude, it totally does a great job, hitting that 80s tone. And I think that's important. It has the noise gate built in, and for $900, listen, if the Iconic doesn't have 12AX7s, Rich, what does it have? What did I think that they had 12AX7s? So yeah, dude, for 80s metal all day long, dude. And my problem is that, and I'm just being honest, I'm just not a good guitarist. I don't like playing chords, probably because I never practiced them when I was a kid. 12AX7S? What? Niemand, you see, I thought it had 12AX7 tubes too. Not enough chug. Yeah, dude, it just doesn't have enough chug. And that's why, that's why I felt neglected. Like, come on, dude. How are you? Okay. And you guys, if you are a subscriber to my channel, then you clearly love the heavy chugging, right? Now, at $8.99, how great would it be to have an EVH, again, for $8.99, that is just as brutal as a Bogner Uberschall? I feel like they should have done that. Would that have meant that they'd have to spend more money on, transformers, because they're not cheap. One of my buddies earlier was just like, yo, why can't you just get the Iconic and just upgrade it with a few other things? And I'm just like, man, like, all right, so let's just, again, go down that road of hypotheticals. So you buy an amp brand new for $8.99, the Iconic, and then you get a new output transformer, and if you use, let's say, Mercury transformers, dude, they're $250 a pop. They're probably more now because of inflation, so let's just call it $265 each. You need two of them. So now you're at let's just call it 530, right? So $530. Then you need a choke. Chokes are like 60. So you bought an amp for $899, and now you're upgrading it, spending, close to $600 at that point. It just doesn't make sense to buy that amp and then try to upgrade it, because at that point, dude, just buy a cheap, PV6505 for $500 and then upgrade that, and that'll be your main number one amp. All right, let me just read some of this. Check out I did watch Taz. I watched the video with Fluff, and here's the one thing. I think Fluff has a great ear. I think he does really great when he makes his video, just like Ola. But even when Fluff was, pushing the heavier tone, you can hear it towards the end that he kind of cranked it up a bit. I just felt like it still lacked, which is fine. Again, it is. Listen, all last night, I literally had guys, I had my phone going off all last night with guys who were just like, hey, what do you think about this? And I'd wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning and I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And then I'd, respond. And yeah, I heard that he does, Val. And that's, listen, when you're getting paid, make it sound good to my ears. He made it good. If you don't necessarily want that hyper saturation, which I like, and again, it's because I'm a terrible guitarist, so I need something to mask that terrible aspect of it. Oh yeah, dude, anyone can make it sound great in post-production, and I don't know if what Fluff did impressed me, and not because he didn't try. It's not because he's not a gifted guitarist. He's successful. He has a great YouTube channel, great following, great musicianship, great level of professionalism. I just think that what I want, and and it's a personal take on everything, right? For me, it was also built. Yeah, it was totally built for simplicity, and makes sense. For people that are starting out, if they want an EVH, they can get that, and it'll be fine. But with Fluff, there's only so much that you can do as a guitarist if the amp doesn't have what it's there. I was very disappointed because I could have. I was disappointed with the EVH, with their version of the video, which was real interesting. I think they could have done a better job, but I spoke to a few guys yesterday, and I'm just like, and this is the reason why I canceled my order, is because, listen, if I were buying a brand new car, let's just say a Ford Explorer, right? And they're like, hey, you're going to get the next model that's going to come out in, it's right around the corner from being on the market, and you put a deposit down on it, but you still don't get any information or even find anything on their website. Like, that's just disheartening. It's scary. And again, it's just $8.99, so it's not going to crack the bank wide open, right? But at the same time, it's also your $8.99. It's not someone else's, and that's okay if it's someone else's money. But, I was just like, you know what? I kind of don't like the fact that at the time, they still didn't have anything on their website. They still hadn't mentioned creating a video featuring the line of amps that they had. And I canceled it because, again, a few people had mentioned, and these are just insiders, they were just like, this isn't going to be available till January or February. So I was just like, I've had my order in since the first week of July. Like, bro, I've been waiting and waiting and then waited. Hold on, let me just go through some of these, because you guys are chatting. What? People are going to shit when... All right, let me show that. Like with the Tube Screamer. I'm hoping that it sounds better with the Tube Screamer. I think that, what was the one guy? There was one guy who kind of, in one of his videos, he was actually going through all of his settings, and I felt bad, but I had to kind of, in a roundabout way, say, those aren't the real settings that I would have used, and I wish, he would have made them a little different. But I'm thinking with more bass, because it could have been... Oh, yeah. Oh, dude. Oh, that's bad that that you wanted that to be your first tube amp. But dude, there are plenty of great tube amps out there. Even if the EVH Iconic isn't your first, like, dude, you can literally pick a gamut of different amps that are tube driven. And, you know, for the most part, if you're okay with buying used, and you can find a lot of gear that are used and in great condition, and you're just going to pay just a little bit, you know, you're not going to, it's not going to be that expensive. Let me go back. I hear tough times right now to get things made on time. Yeah, and Barry, and this is just to responding to your question or to your statement. Think of the fact that Eddie died in 2020, and from my understanding, they had started this process about a year and a half before he had passed. So now we're looking at, let's just call it 2018, you know, pre-COVID, you know, and I know that they have to go through their stages of designing something, and I don't think at the time James Brown was there. They eventually brought him in what, 2019 maybe, early 2019. So you know they'd have to get his 2 cents in, because now it's going to be an amp that has his, you know, sign off on. So I think they had enough time, but of course, because of COVID hitting in 2020, you know, that kind of hit. And, you know, there's a photo that I posted months ago, which is a photo where you see the Iconic in the background. So they've actually had models of the Iconic for the last year or so. So, I mean, bulk is different. Like you said, it'll take time to try to build them and then get them boxed and ready to go and put them in the warehouse, where they just get shipped off to different companies or different shops. I can't believe I had to defend that. Wait, Dido, defend what? You'll like your opinion canceling your amp orders. You'll take your opinion and canceling your amp orders. Yeah, I mean, you know, I've definitely gotten some, I've definitely had a few guys, you know, throw a few punches, and I'm just like, you know, I'm blocking it, jabbing, you know, but I'm throwing soft punches because I know that this is just my opinion. This is just me. You guys know how I want my sound to sound. You know, this huge revelation, if you guys watch my videos, was with me and Synergy and the beef that I had with them. Then going for a round 2 and literally just loving it. And the problem that I had with the Synergy the first round was just the fact that I just had technical problems. So I never really heard what it should have sounded like. But once I made a round 2, what? Dude, just mind-blowing. That's why I mentioned Synergy, because if you're going to spend, let's call it, you know, $1,000, because at $899 for the Iconic plus tax, you're going to be, you know, a few, you know, 10 bones here and there shy of 1,000. Let's just call it an even 1,000 round up. You know, with the Synergy, I don't have to be like, oh, it doesn't really chug that great. Like, bro, it's mind-blowing. Like, if you just get the Syn 1 and the SLO, you're done. That's it. Yo, you have great tone. You have great chugs. You know, it's just mind-blowing with the chugs. If you want to hit early 80s, you have that. So you have that adaptation within that module, that you have this broad spectrum that you can play across. Whereas the Iconic, you know, I feel like they just kind of focus more on that early 80s tone that Eddie used to play, which is fine. It's an amp that's designed for guys who are huge Eddie Van Halen fans. I think everyone that plays that style will completely be blown away by it, and they'll love it. But for me, I mean, look at the nonsense that I have. You know, I kind of feel like, you know, although I can probably hit 80s tone with any of these, that's not why I have them. I have them for the complete stark opposite. I'm not playing Cinderella, Poison, Van Halen. I'm playing Slayer, Walls of Jericho, you know, just things that are infinitely ECC 83s. Oh, okay. I mean, they're basically 12 AX7 tubes. They are, because so Rich, ECC 83s are literally the European version of the 12AX7. So if you were to buy an amp, a tube amp in the UK, it would have ECC 83 tubes, and then here in the US you would get 12AX7s. It's just, you know, literally tomato, but they're basically, you know, you can literally take out an ECC and throw in a 12AX7. I have amps that have 12AX7s and I just swap them out with ECCs. They're literally the same thing. It's just, you know, it's just what they call it, you know, out there. So, so let me see what else you guys. Walls of Jericho, Dido, yeah, dude. Shit, kind of sounds like shit. Yo, for all of you guys that are making comments, if you write a curse word in your statement, just know it's coming up on my end, and it's just like, do you want to hide this because it's hidden right now, or you can show it? And I keep having to hit show because, you know, I don't care as long as you're not cursing at me. Like, Lewis, you suck, which I suck terribly anyway. Yeah, dude. Yo, the Digitech 21 Legend. Yo, I can't believe that more guys don't have that. Like, you can hit, like you said, dude, Taz, all day long. 80s, you can hit heavies, you know, and hit Slayer like you mentioned. Yeah, dude. Faster Pussycat. Yo, remember them? I wonder what happened to them. That's so funny that you mentioned them. So who out there? Oh, let me hear. Yep, you just polished the turd. All right. So, yo, so what do you guys think about the Iconic? And just, you know, just so everyone else can kind of see. And again, you know, I feel like I know a bunch of guitarists that, you know, play a wide range of different genres of music. So I've talked to guitarists who are just like, I use my Mesa rectifier for heavy. I use, you know, my Marshall JCM 800 for my rock. But would you guys get the Iconic? And, you know, and it's funny, even talking to Neil Morris, he was just, you know, I told him just like, bro, you know, I'm going to end up buying like 2 of those Iconic amps, you know, at some point. Yeah. What's up, Ryan? You know, and again, if I get the chance to get an Iconic for a cheap, good price, I would get one. You use your armored. Yeah. That Sabo's sick. If you want to buy the #1 Sabo, that's that one right there. I'll sell it to someone. Fluff made it sound great. Hold on, let me see. What was that last one there? Okay. So Ryan, so here's this one thing. Someone mentioned in one of the videos that's out right now, it's the video where the guy's in a store. There's a huge window that's behind him, which is why he's really dark. Someone said that he actually ran an EQ through the effects loop, and that's why it sounds better. You know, I don't want to say that it's cheating. It's cheating if you don't mention it. I don't know if he said it in the video. I think he wrote it in the description. Or someone had mentioned that, you know, that he mentioned somehow that that Chiefs that he had an EQ pedal through the effects loop. And, you know, listen, I hate my rectifier if I were to plug straight in. It's not that bad, but definitely it needs an overdrive in the front. And, you know, for the most part, I'll always tell everyone like, hey, I'm running my rectifier with this pedal or that pedal. And I think, you know, when you're being that transparent, it's good. So then now you have an idea of what you have to do to get to a certain tone. But I don't know. There's that Iconic. I feel like not mention it. So you have to look at one of his or the early posts that he made, where I guess he mentioned using an EQ. Someone mentioned that to me. I didn't see it, but I'll try to look. You know, after this live stream, I'll take a look and see. Wait, who just got their block letter back? Yeah. For the title more particular, Oh, so Neiman, do you have a Splawn? So one of my buddies here by me, Ken, has a Splawn, and dude, he ended up buying it for 1,500 over at Guitar Center, and I've since been like, bro, I have a guitar with your name on it that if you ever want to trade. So sounds good. Yeah. Oh, Coleman, without question, it totally has that 80s sound nailed perfectly. Like that's not even a question. Sounds and yeah, it's good for the price. Oh, you have an Uber shawl. Yeah, dude. You don't need anything. If you're looking for, to play heavy, yo, bro, that's, you got your Uber shawl and that's all you need. Like, that's literally my all-time favorite amp, period. But the EVH Stealth is in my top 5. So I think that, listen, if you were to buy, all right, so if you guys remember when the Stealth 50 watt came out, I bought that one used, and I was so annoyed that I didn't get the pre-order. I ended up getting it used like a month after the launch for 900 even, and it's great. So I would imagine that at 899, there are going to be people that are going to buy it and then sell it for $100 hit. And they'll sell it for 800 on the nose, 750 just to kind of move it and get something else. Definitely, Barry, the my Stealth 50 watt without question, which is, let me just turn this up here, right there. That guy right there is complete balls to the wall. Absolutely love that thing. It's heavy. It has that wide range of, where if you play different genres, you can totally go about it. Should I buy a 65? Yeah, dude, I'm with you. Totally I would rather buy a used 6505, 6505 plus, 5150, 5152, any of those before an Iconic, but that's because I know those amps get to where I want my tone to be. So yeah, dude, without a doubt, there are definitely plenty of PVs and EVHs out there that are in that price point. Because how much is what's the best cab for the 6505? Bro, are you the Mesa, bro? Mesa 412 cabinet with Celestion V30s paired up with a PV 6505 or 5150 is all day heavy to the moon and back. Which is why, throughout the 90s, early 2000s, tons of heavy bands, they were just like, what are you using? And they were like PV 6505 with a Mesa V30 because it did what you wanted it to do. So yeah, bro, if you have a 6505 or 5150 and you're trying to figure out which is the best cabinet, I think the 6505, I'm sorry, the Mesa 412 with V30s, nails it. I have, and this is the the crazy thing, is my EVH Stealth 50 watt sounds better through a Marshall 412. You should do a comparison to the Stealth. Yeah, dude, so Fluff has one, and it seems like maybe one or two people actually have an Iconic in their house, whereas everyone else has theirs, it's still at the store or they're just being shipped. And if you guys hear anything in the background, it's actually my little pug that is whimpering and is trying to call me. She's just like, dude, you down there? Yes. Hold on. Let me, hold on. Come down. Come. You want to come? Come down. Sorry, I had to see if my little pug with her little short legs wanted to come down the stairs, but she's kind of like, nah, I'm going to chill. Marshall 412, they have, what is it, the G12T75s with the Stealth. Bro, that thing's the best combo right there. So if you have a Stealth, and I'm not talking about the 100 watt because that is an older amp, so it's voiced differently, but the Stealth with the Marshall, and they typically come with the G12T75s, and most of my Marshall cabinets are my 412s are either JCM 800s or 900s, which came equipped with those speakers. But that, bro, the stealth with those speakers is absolutely mind blowing and so much better than with the V30s. Hold on, let me see. The only thing with the oh, really? Is the new Marshall DSL is the effects loop not that good? 412s with greenbacks are good too for a different flavor. Yes. My Splawn has greenbacks. Oh no, I'm sorry. It has creambacks. Okay, never mind. I'll have to try that. I just picked the Jet City 50 watt for a hell of a deal because I watched a ton of demo on them. Yeah, dude. I'm glad that you got that Jet City, Owens. Is it Owens? I forgot your first name. So you got the Jet City 50 watt. And if you were to get the Soldano SLO mod for that Jet City, dude, it's absolutely mind-blowing. Like, I have my Jet City 20, and that thing's just mind-blowing, but it's mainly because it has the Soldano mod that when I bought it, it already had it in there. I love my 1960. Yeah, Rich, those G12s are absolutely amazing. Can I get the tone? Yo, you know what? I never tried one of those Jubilees, but I know Rich had a Jubilee and then sold it. I believe the EVH, right? 112 is a Rebadge UK. Oh, is it? Oh, I didn't know. Rebadged UK greenback. Huh. All right. Oh, is that what it is? Okay, yeah. So that's why the creambacks that I have are 60 watters. So I have a Splawn 212, and I want to say 60 or 65 watts. But yeah, I guess, so that's good to know, because I didn't know that creambacks are literally greenbacks, just louder. Is greenbacks? Oh my God, my little dog. Hold on one second. Let me see what my dog wants. She's just going nuts. Hold on, please hold. What do you want? What's up? Okay, I literally just let my dog out. She was like, dude, I'm going to take a poop on myself. So I have to run back up in a little bit. And the Jubilee was weak. Oh, yeah, Rich, I remember that. That's what you didn't like about it. Had to go on an 87 Jubilee combo, and it rocked. Oh, did you? I didn't even know that they had the Jubilee designed as a combo also. And yes, pugs are super cute. She's an oldie, though. Iconic. Yeah, dude, the 5150, the EVH 50 watts are so much better than the Iconic. Yeah, totally. All right, so hold on one second. I have to go make sure my pug is okay, but stay with me. Don't leave. I'll be back in like 2 minutes. Jessica! I'm back. She had to poop really bad. All right. All right. Sorry, guys. I should have walked her before I did this, but she was sleeping. And I was just like, she can chill and hang out for a bit. And she, all of a sudden, I always leave the door partially open so she knows that I'm down here. And she's like, which pedals would you like to see? Wait, what was that? I need a new mic. Do you guys not hear that? Because, for the most part, you guys should be, is it too low? Is it better now? Is it better? Hello, hello? Let me know if I should have it over here. It may have been a little too far. Ryan, let me know. Okay. Thanks, Bo. I had Ryan poking fun of me. Oh, a touch of static. Really? Hold on. Let me see. Lower that and lower that. Sit here. Maybe I can move that down. Let me know if it's better. If you guys are still getting this is actually the noise. Sorry, guys. But let me know because what I ended up doing was I changed the gain on my adapter along with the gain on the mixing board, and hopefully, you know, it's tolerable. Sorry about that, guys. I didn't realize this is literally the first time where I've actually used this mic. Ooh, let me see. Right, because this thing has a... Worse. This thing actually has a negative 20 dB also, but let me know if it's almost like, let me know if you can hear me. Oh no, dude, bro, you know how many guys you know how many guys slam me for constantly talking about liking my V30s? So yeah, dude, people, there are two camps, right? When it comes down to Celestion V30s, you either love and rave about them. Oh, okay, cool. Thanks, Val. So you should be able to hear it now because I made it. I've moved it back. Wait, hold on. Did I move it all the way back? Yeah, I did. So yeah, so people either love and rave about the Celestion V30s or they absolutely hate it. And I get it, like they're super fizzy, without question. I always, I know that. The way I kind of am able to get around it is because I use a mixing board when I'm using my SM57. If I mic it, I can actually adjust that on the mixing board so it's not as fizzy. And then, so it's kind of like a loophole when using the Celestion V30s. But yeah, dude, right out of the rip, sometimes I'm just like, wow, these things are super. Personally, I hate the V30s. Yeah, dude, some people just really hate the V30s. Oh, but the Chinese V30s are even worse. Like people, it's one of those things where, even guys that love the UK V30s, they're just like, dude, I absolutely hate the Chinese V30s. Do I still hate the Badlander? I can't say that I hate it. Because I've since played it literally bringing one of my favorite ESPs, used it with my favorite overdrive, and the Badlander sounds absolutely great. I think what bothered me at the time was the fact that everyone was saying that you can actually take your guitar, plug it right into the Mesa Badlander, and that it is the tightest amp, the highest gain, a complete game changer, and it wasn't. I don't think it's a game changer at all. I think they're just like, hey, we just need to come up with another amp, and let's just call it the Badlander, and let's throw it in the, rectifier category so they can actually make more money faster, right? I guess there's something about the EVH and hempback speakers and a good combo. You know what you should change? What you should swap your speakers with? V30s. No, I'm joking. There's a lot of great pairings. People love the DV77s because they're dark. That work great with the Celestion V30s, the K1000s. I actually have them in my Randall 412 cabinet. Yeah, dude. Oh, the seismic cabs. So I've never used one, but I've talked to guys that literally, they'll send me a photo of like their rig, and I see a seismic, and I'm like, how do you like that cabinet? And they're like, bro, you can't go wrong for the money, and you can't sit around and hope that someone sells their 212 cabinet for $200. So I feel like Seismic is one of those good companies that you can go and just get an empty cab. You can order one from some of these other custom companies, and they're just super expensive. So I can hear myself. Oh no, sorry. So let me just lower that. Arachnid cabs are great, dude. They're expensive. What are the other cabs? There's so many, different cab companies that are out there now, but they're fairly expensive when it comes down to, hey, I just want an empty cabinet. And if it's just one person and they're working out of their garage, they have to pay for their time, the gear that they use, the experience that they've learned throughout the years to create them. So I get why, they're just like, hey, if you want a 212 cabinet that's empty, it's gonna, with shipping, Jesus, shipping's gonna be $100, but then the cabinet's gonna be, $650. So it's still gonna be in line with a bunch of the other ones. Timmy, what's up, dude? Timmy D. Black Star. So a lot of guys had mentioned that the Iconic was, just from this, from the way they actually were discussing or in all these different Facebook groups talking about the how the schematic would have to be designed, that it would be a lot like a Black Star. But it's not a Black Star. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like EVH as a company could have done better if they were going to try to target that $899. Either charge $599 and call it a day, or at $899 offer a little more. Does it feel that amp should be fully tuned? So here is, I think, really talented designers, and Val, you mentioned the Ceres. When you're working with guys like Kyle Rhodes, who's just an absolute genius, and I'm talking about genius in today's respect, Lee Jackson was huge back in the day as a designer, James Brown, of course, but when it comes down to modern chugs, Lee Jackson isn't trying to learn a song by death. Neither is James Brown. Not to say Kyle Rhodes is, but if you hear Kyle, like, bro, that dude's he's a guitar. He's one of us. Kyle Rhodes is just like one of us, and he makes gear for us to like. And so if it's someone like Kyle creating an amp, he can get away with just, having a solid state preamp and run it through, regardless if it's a solid state power amp, which hopefully they'll make one day, maybe not, maybe they don't have to. I have the PA50 and completely love it. I think it blows everything away. I think it's very similar to my KSR Eris as far as its thickness and its body in the when you're playing heavy. So yeah, if it comes down to certain people creating amps that are full solid state, I think guys like Kyle would just hit it right out of the ballpark. I think, I don't think many companies out there can do the same thing, as far as building amps. And I think Kyle would make a better Iconic than James Brown would have made. So, that's something to be said there, where I think, I have that confidence in someone like Kyle, who's just like, what we're going to do? We're going to get the heavies, but we're also going to get the Van Halen love songs with David Lee Roth in there. So, Let's see, 1600, 5 watt. You get those. Is your Alexa? Yeah, you know, you're right. So to me, 80s is just all about the shriekiness. You know, it's all about the high-pitched treble, fizz, and, you know, it's probably why I don't own a Mesa Tri-Axis or an ADA, what is it? JP1 or a Marshall JMP1. I just think that those were great for the time. But they, for me, for my ears, like they just, you know, it sounds like a terrible, you know, V30, just all the fizziness, you know. So, yeah, bro. Yeah, switch from a Van Halen tune right over to a Cro-Max song. You know, listen, it's, you know, when you're making any product, right? Listen, and I'm a photographer, right? So 90% of my business is shooting weddings. That's where the bulk of my revenue comes from. So I shoot weddings, but from those weddings, I get couples, Van Mags. But from those weddings, dude, people get married. They end up having kids. They have one kid. They have two kids. So I naturally, of that 90% of weddings, 10% is everything that comes after. Maternity photos, newborn photos, family photos. So my photography business is broader than years ago. Before, if you were like, hey, Louis, you shot my wedding 3 years ago, I'm pregnant, I'd be like, yo, go call this other person if you want photos of your belly because you're 7 months in. Or family photos, like, dude, I used to refer them off to everyone else. And then I realized, Louis Patootie, you are dumb. So then I started offering those services, and I feel like EVH should have done the same thing. They should have been like, shooting weddings, what caliber do you prefer? Wait, hold on. Is that what, prefer for maximum first? What caliber do I prefer? Oh, shooting weddings, got it. 308s. I was just like, what caliber? What do you mean? All of a sudden, I'm like going through my cameras. I'm like, he can't be talking about pixels. He's not talking about lenses and the quality. My daughter just finished. Yeah, PJ, I just saw that. That's awesome. I saw that photo where she's in the background. Good for her. You know, she's gonna. It's all about the hustle, dude. It's all about, you know, hey, looks like you're pregnant. You need photos, and someone will be like, okay, you know what? You're absolutely right. Never thought about taking photos of my belly. And then, of course, once you start there, the next thing is, hey, now I have a newborn. Can you come and take photos of us with my newborn baby? And then when the kid is like, dude, I literally have, you know, clients whose weddings I captured, took maternity photos, newborn photos, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth year photos. Like, yo, for years, I have tons of clients that they just call me. They can't think of anyone else taking photos of them. And that's how you build your business. So make sure you tell her, you know, she's got to hustle now and get things going. They're doing the chat late. Did you miss anything? Rick, just scroll, you know. And I think this video actually gets saved also. I don't know if it's one of the main ones, but you have an option for uploaded videos versus videos that were live. That's one hell of a backdrop. And I said, thanks, dude. Thanks, Tony. But funny enough, this happened just by accident. Like, I remember a few years ago, like, I had a few amps stacked, and people were just like, dude, how do you have all that gear? And I was like, oh, that's so funny that people are kind of realizing what's in the background. And then I just kept buying more amps, and that just became the larger backdrop. And then now I don't even have enough room anymore. Like, I can't buy any more amps. Like, I literally have my amps to the rafters. Like, literally to the rafters. Like, in my world, it's a literal, it's literal. Hey, you should have your amps up to the rafters. I do, my man. I totally do. What's your top 3 amps behind you? All All right, so do you mean my favorite amps, or do you mean which amps are at the very top? It's totally it's totally soundproofed with amps, except if you're upstairs, right? So if I play oh, my favorites. Okay, so give me 1 second, I'll tell you. So if I play wirelessly with my Shure wireless system that I got from my boy Dido Roman for my birthday this year. Dido, you are the man. If I play upstairs, like I can hear it because there's, you know, everything. It's literally joists and then just all the compressed panels that are right there. So, but as far as my favorite amps, one is my Wagner Uberschall, which is right there. That's one. Then it's gotta be my Fortin second, which is the white one. That Fortin, my triple rectifier, which is right there, is third. My KSR Eris up there is my fourth. My Armored Sabo is fifth. And then my Laboga Mr. Hector. And then everything else is just whatever. Although, if we're going to talk about things that will change the way you think when it comes down to amps, is Synergy. Yo, if you guys watched my Synergy video, my very first one, bro, they hated me at that company. Totally. I'm just being honest. Synergy was just like, who is this guy? And but then you know, I ended up talking to Henning out in Germany, and we talked for a while, for about an hour and a half, at like 5:30 in the morning. And I remember, dude, I remember being nervous because he friended me on Facebook, and I was just like, uh-oh, why am I on Henning's radar? Really, more than anything else. I was like, why am I on his radar where he's friending me on Facebook? And then, I don't know, it must have been within like 20 minutes. All of a sudden, I get one of those Facebook notifications like, you have a message from Henning. And I was just like, oh, no, this is bad. So then, so we were just going back and forth a little bit. And then he's like, hey, it's late here in Germany, but let me know if we can talk early in the morning. So I called him and we just live streamed like at, I think it was 5:30 my time, Eastern Standard. And and we talked, dude, all about Synergy. He's telling me about, things going on at his camp, which is awesome. And then I reached out then I got a text from the owner of Synergy. Yo, you're in trouble if Henning is like, you're going to get a text. It's going to be the owner. This is his name. And all of a sudden, like hours later, I get a text from, no, it's not the big leagues. So then I get a text from California. I'm like, oh, dude, this is Synergy right here. So I answered, and it's the owner, and I already knew his name. So he's like, hey, Lewis, what's going on? And we were just talking. Dude, I talked to the owner for an hour. Yo, he is super down to earth. Like, yo, he sounds and reminds me of everyone I grew up with in Brooklyn. And he just shared, things like, if you guys remember, I mentioned that I had called and spoke to a guy that at the time couldn't really help me, but it turns out that he's actually not one of the guys that usually takes the call for technical issues. He's just someone that works there, and he's been there for like 30 years. They had a fire, so everyone was wearing multiple hats, and I was like, oh, okay. That's why he couldn't really answer my question, which is also why he didn't know of KSR or Kyle Rhodes, because I was kind of like offended by that. And he's like, he wouldn't even know who that is. Like, that's not what he does here at the company. I was like, oh, dude. So he cleared up a lot of things, which was good. But I didn't want to remove the video because I was still kind of like, But as time went on, yes, Val. So as time went on, the more I kept thinking about what Henning said, the more the owner of Synergy, I kept thinking of everything that he said. And, typical, bro, typical just, misinterpretation, bad timing. There was a slew of different things, technical issue with my Sin 1. The PA50 ended up burning out, which was more than likely my fault. So, take that entire experience, throw it out the window. And, and I remember talking to the owner, and he was just like, hey, if you want to, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to ship you a Sin 1 with a module or two, and you can try it out and let me know what you think. If you like it and you feel like making a video, then make a video. But if not, and you don't like it, just ship it back. No big deal. So I knew that was always on the table, but I didn't want... It almost felt like if I took him up on that offer, it would seem like I was bought out. And that was just for me. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't want anyone to ever sit back and say, yo, you got bought out, son. You completely got bought out and you clowned yourself. So instead, I ended up just taking down the video because I felt like that it was the right thing. So I took down the video. I ended up sending Avi, the owner, a text, and I said, hey, I just want you to know that I deleted the video of me talking about my experience with your Synergy gear. And he was just like, hey, thank you. I'm glad that you decided to do that. And again, my offer is still out there. If you want, just text me your home address. I'll have one of the guys send you some Synergy gear. You can try it out and then ship it back. And again, I felt like, and again, the offer was thrown at me, and I was just like, nah. I'm like, Avi, thank you so much. I think you're great. I think your employees are lucky to have you. The gear that you make, with the exception of what experience I have, or I had, everyone that I know literally loves it. They all thought I was crazy. But I'll, if I get anything, I'll reach out to you. So fast forward a few months, and I decided, okay, it's funny. So it was the Iconic. So I ended up canceling my Iconic, and I was just like, what am I going to do now? And I revisited Synergy. So I ended up buying the Sin 1 first, and then ordered the what? Which one did I get? Which one did I end up getting from? Not the deliver, whatever. So I got one of them from Sweetwater, and used it and was instantly floored. Oh, the Pitbull, not the Pitbull, the VHT. What? The VHT that I have. So not the VHT. Hold on. Okay, they're all over here. And completely was floored. So then I reached out to him and I was just like, dude, oh my God, that thing is absolutely incredible. And I made a video with it, and here's the link. And he texted me back and he's like, dude, that's absolutely amazing. I love that video that you made. Thank you for doing that. Of course, if you ever need anything, just let me know. So I was just like, dude, can you guys send me 3 modules to try? Because I feel like everyone that I know that's huge with Synergy, they always rave about these 3. And he's like, of course, yeah, which ones do you want? So I sent them a text, literally, like no joke, sent them a text for the Uberschall, the SLO, and the Deliverance. And it must have been 2 hours later, I had someone that works in the office send me a FedEx tracking number showing me that they had shipped the 3 modules. And I was just like, wow, like, dude, like that is, I can't even say that's even customer service. That's kind of like when you work with the owner, like he's just like, bro, get this done, throw this in a box, get these 3, ship them out, get me the tracking number, send him the tracking number. Here's his email address, his home address. And dude, I floored, completely floored. Like, I'm so much happier at not having gotten the Iconic, but instead taking that money and invested in Synergy gear, because it's literally next level. Like, I mean, you don't even, these are just words that I'm saying, like, bro, go watch my videos. Like, they are ridiculous. And then I still have to make a new or separate video for the Deliverance and another video just featuring the Uberschall. But the Synergy Uberschall, you got my favorite amp is my Bogner Uberschall. I still think that the Synergy Uberschall is better than my actual Uberschall Rev Blue. So I have to try to find out if that's because it's voiced around a specific Bogner, because I want to say this is the second interpretation of the Uberschall, but the Synergy Uberschall would have been something newer. So we'll see. You know, I'll see if I can find some info on that. What Fortin is that? It's the Fortin Cali. It's the 50-watt Fortin Cali. Ultra lead is one amp. Oh, the VHT. Oh, you know what's funny is that I've actually had guys tell me that the UL is without question one of the best Fryette VHTs that they have out there. Rick, I have terrible morals. Terrible. Joking. But yeah, dude, you know, I feel like there are guys that are out there that, bro, you know, money changes them. And then here's the one thing with my channel. I don't work in this industry. I don't make money as a musician. I'm not in a band. I have nothing to do with the metal industry aside from having a bunch of amps and having a YouTube channel. And I make money doing something completely different than my music. So you can't buy me. Like, there's nothing, I don't benefit any which way you look at it. So if I hear something, I can totally shit on it. And I can shit on it because you know, hey, don't sponsor that guy. I don't care, dude. Look what I have. I buy my own shit. You know, I don't need EVH to sponsor my tour. Like, bro, if I want an EVH, I'll just buy it. So yeah, so that's, you know, to me, that's the good thing. Some people get it and they're just like, yo, this dude can't be bought, and he can't be bought because he has nothing to do with his livelihood when it comes down to this music. You know, this Fortin shirt I bought for myself, you know? So some guys, you know, and I'm not saying that they're, you know, that they're morally wrong in any way, shape, or form, but if you're going to send me an amp, and with that amp, you're going to send me a check for $3,500, I'm going to make sure that amp sounds like the best amp you've ever heard in your fucking life. And that's just, you know, you can't bite the hand that feeds, you know what I'm saying? So if someone's paying you that much, that means they have more to pay down the road. So at some point, you can't bash the, you know, some new amp like you know, if Marshall comes out with a new amp and gives it to some YouTuber with, you know, 50,000 subscribers, they're naturally going to be biased. They're going to be like, bro, if they just paid me this amount for one video, what are they going to do the next time they make a video? They may pay me just as much. And some of these YouTubers, that's how they make their living. Yo, look at Stevie T's house. That dude lives in a mansion. I mean, it's Canada, so, you know, it probably costs him like 150,000 USD, which is probably like 3 million Canadian dollars. So, but still, the dude has the, I know all you guys in Canada just rolled your eyes at me. But I definitely know that, you know, for the most part, you know, the guy's making a living and, you know, he does great. And, you know, if you want him to make a video, you got to pay the guy. Yeah, Jordan, you know, if there's my twin in this world, it's totally Shawn, you know, because he's the same way. You know, he makes money, makes a good living. When he wants something, he'll either trade it or buy it himself. And that's just how it is, you know. When he wasn't happy with Solar or Solar guitars because of the issues they had, he's just like, just drop me then, you know. All my Solar guitars that I have, I bought myself, you know. And that's the one thing with being like a Solar artist, you only get 10% off, you know. Go send them an email, just be like, hey, I'm in a band, we just started playing yesterday in my garage. They'll sponsor you. They'll send you a contract that you have to sign that you can't shit on them, and if you do, you'll get the boot. You know, and that's just how it is. But, you know, the same thing. You only get like what, a 10% discount. So 10% on a $1,500 account. You know, it's not. Val, you are the man. Thank you, brother. So yeah, dude, it's, you do what you got to do to get out there and get the amps and the gear that you need, and as long as you're happy, to me that is everything. You know, I'm a terrible guitarist. I know that I am. That's I marginally play better now than I did when I was 14. But I'm happy, and I think all you guys, as long as you're happy, to me that you can't take that away. If you're happy with whatever amp you have, whatever guitar you have. I get guys that shit on me all the time, and they're just like, you shouldn't have all those amps. And I'm like, I just decided that I'm just going to, I don't know, do I dare say I'm just going to play whatever I play? And, if I sit down and play guitar for 10 minutes, I'm happy. I'm not murdering anyone, because of it. And it's just our therapy, and that to me is everything. So, guys, I think I'm going to end this. Oh, shoot, dude, we went over. I started at 12. I was just going to go for an hour, but let me go here. Val, you are the man. Jordan, everyone, Hugh, all you guys. You guys are all great. Second guitar, yeah, dude. Yo, don't ever be, bothered if someone's just like, yeah, you're not really good. But it's not for, it's not for you. It's for me. It's, I think a lot of people forget that. I think people forget that it's you against you, and if you're happy with where you are, if you're happy practicing, if you're happy not practicing, it's just whatever's in your heart, dude. As long as you're happy, to me, that is absolutely everything. And you'll end up living long and prospering. And, there's nothing better than that, so work on that mic issue. I hate you, Ryan, but I totally will. I got to figure out, what's going on with this. Maybe change the mic. Maybe it's too close. Maybe, do I have that plugged in? I don't. All right, guys. So, hey, thank you so much. If I do not talk to you guys, have a great holiday. Have a great Christmas. Love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. You guys are the best. And have a great day. Have a great weekend. And as usual, Louis Torres is out. And I will talk to you soon. Now I got to figure out how to turn this off. Look at Ryan laughing. Do I press it? What? Oh, do I hit the X?